Hi, I'm Dakota Smith, and in this video, we're going to get an overview of the Touchstone Telomere Support, the history that I know to give, and the history of telomere supports from my perspective. And what I, and just to give a very quick overview of what I'm going to talk about in this video is that we're understanding that telomeres are a huge part of aging. Telomeres, it's been proven that over 95% of almost all diseases are contributed to telomere shortening, and that the body has an amazing ability to restore telomere length, and that and then what I do to support my telomeres is a telomere product supplement that I take daily, and it costs $275 a month on auto ship. And that's the very quick overview. And then for the big overview is just understanding. I'm going to start with a video right here. Oh, wrong one. Here we go.
And now, eternal youth. Is it in a cage around the corner? News tonight of a breakthrough for some pioneering mice. But we always wonder, what does a fountain of youth for rodents reveal for humans? Here's Sharon Alfonsi reporting.
I feel tremendous.
In the movie Cocoon, it's a swimming pool that turns back the clock for a group of senior citizens. But now researchers have found a way not just to stop, but reverse the aging process. The key is something called a telomere. We all have them. They're the tips or caps of your chromosome, seen here in yellow. This is what it looks like in a young adult. But as you grow older, the telomeres become damaged and frayed, and as they stop working, we start aging, experiencing things like hearing and memory loss. Scientists took mice who were prematurely aged, added an enzyme, and essentially turned their telomeres back on. You can see it before the enzyme, after.
Their brain function improved, their fertility was restored. It was a remarkable reversal of the aging process.
Look at this picture. The mouse on the right has bad skin, gray hair, and is balding, but the one on the left had its telomeres flipped back on.
And you could see that essentially you now have a dark coat color, that the hair is restored, that the coat has a nice healthy sheen to it.
Even more dramatic, the change in brain size. This is before. The mice had 75% of a normal brain, like a patient with severe Alzheimer's. But after the telomeres were reactivated, the brain returns to normal size. As for humans, while it is just one factor, scientists now say by looking at our blood cells and measuring those telomeres, you can get a better idea of how well you'll age. The longer the telomere, the better the chances for a more graceful aging. But as for tinkering with them and turning back our aging process, researchers say we still have a long way to go. Sharon Alfonsi, ABC News, New York.
How cool is that, right? That is a proof of concept. That video that you saw is shows the proof of concept of that when telomeres get short, we see balding, we see all kinds of diseases, from mental problems to balding to fertility issues, right? And then when the telomere length is restored, we see all of those things go away. And this was a proof of concept. And since then, Bill Andrews has been committed to finding a product, some formulation that is going to turn telomeres back on and keep them on and restore telomeres throughout the whole body. So let's see, Mr. Bill Andrews. Let's show you Mr. Bill Andrews. So in 1994, Dr. Bill Andrews and his team discovered a gene in the human body that can actually turn on this enzyme that will create this enzyme called telomerase. And telomerase goes let's see. So I'm getting ahead of myself. Bill Andrews discovered a gene that turns on an enzyme called telomerase. It causes the body to produce this enzyme. And what happens is that enzyme goes into the DNA, gets on the end of the chromosome, and lengthens telomeres and restores the telomere length. And so he's been committed to finding something that turns this gene on. So I just want to go back to that. So he has a machine that can scan compounds. He puts the compounds into the machine, and it will test and tell him whether or not these compounds actually turn on telomeres. Now, he has screened over 314,000 compounds, and he's only found, a handful of those that actually turn telomeres on. And he tried in 2000, he tried, and all the compounds that he found were actually too toxic for human consumption. So that means that they turn telomeres on, but they actually poison people. And in 2009, he partnered with another master formulator, and that guy's name was John Anderson. And John Anderson was a genius master formulator, and he started sending formulations to Bill, and Bill started testing them, and he got hits. And what hits means is that it was activating the telomeres. And it was with compounds that Bill had already tested, and he said, "How is this happening? I don't understand." Like, he was blown away. And it was because John Anderson was a master formulator, and he took extracts of these compounds in a very specific way, and he figured out how to synthesize them in a specific way to where they were synergetic with each other and create this amazing effect of turning the telomeres on. And they created a formula, and they ran with it, and then it started changing lives. And then they continued to improve on this formula, and they came out with what they called a second generation and a third generation and a fourth generation. And I started on the third generation. And that third generation was absolutely amazing. I was 26 at the time. This was in 2013. So I was 25 or 26. So I think I started in 2013. 2014. Okay. So put this in perspective. I started in 2013 and with the third generation, and I had some great results for myself, and I had amazing results for my mom and my dad and my family, and I started selling it, and my customers had amazing results as well. It was absolutely miraculous. And then after a couple of years of that, they changed the formula to a fourth generation, and we stopped seeing the results. We stopped getting the results that we used to get, and my customers stopped getting the results, and my new customers didn't get the same dramatic results that I got with my first with the first telomere support that I started on. So after time, I stopped taking it, and I've been looking for another telomere support ever since then. I've been following Bill Andrews. He has since partnered with a couple other companies. He tried partnering I've seen him come out and promote 2 other telomere supports, but those didn't last very long, and I didn't really see much of a result from those. And in January of 2025, I go to Facebook, and I'm looking at Bill Andrews' website, and I look at his Facebook profile page, and I'm like, he's been doing this for a long time. I know he hasn't quit. How come he's not promoting any other, telomere supports right now? And I don't see anything. There's nothing there, and I sat there and I prayed to God to send me a supplement or a telomere support, something to give me the same kind of benefits that I had back in 2013 and 2014 that I can use for myself and that I can share with my family. And 3 days later, I get a text message from a man named Sonny. And I had not talked to Sonny in over a decade. We met once in passing. And he asked me how my business was doing. He asked me how I was doing and how my business was doing. And I told him I was looking for another telomere support. And to put it in perspective, so I met Sonny at the first company that sold the telomere, the original supplement that I got started on. And he told me, hey, guess what? Bill Andrews has partnered with this company called Touchstone, and he's getting ready to launch a telomere support in a few months. So I'm just getting people aware and interested and letting them know that way when it launches, you can get it and get started. And I said yes. I signed up, and I said I waited until the product launched, and I ordered it, and I got it for myself, and I got it for my mom, and we were taking one a day for months, and for a few months, and we didn't really see a difference. There wasn't really much of a change there, so I stopped taking it. My mom stopped doing it, and in the back of my mind, I still had this nagging feeling in the back of my mind, like just the divine timing of it really got to me. And I was just, and Bill Andrews is saying this is the best telomere support on the market. It's the best telomere support he's ever tested. And I'm just thinking about, like, okay, well, how come I didn't get the results like I did before? And I decide to join a Zoom call with Sonny. And I'm on this Zoom call with Sonny, and I see amazing results from people that are getting their hair's growing back, and they're not using a walker anymore, or they're not wearing their glasses anymore. And I thought, well, okay, how is this happening? So I asked Sonny, hey, what's going on? How are people getting this result and it's not happening for me? And he said, I'm taking 3 a day, and that's what I've noticed really makes a difference. That's what moves the needle, is when I take 3 a day. And I thought, okay, I'll try that. And so I got 3. I started taking 3, and immediately, so I take 3 first thing in the morning when I wake up, with plenty of water. And I immediately started sleeping better. And I immediately, that was the first thing I noticed, was I was sleeping better. And then I went and donated blood a couple weeks later, and I lost 8 pounds. They weighed me while I was at the clinic, and I had lost 8 pounds. And I noticed I have a lot more energy to get me through the day. And as I keep doing this. So now it's been about 5-6 weeks. I'm still happy with it. I'm still getting getting better sleep, feeling better weight loss, and all of that. I feel really good doing this. And 3 a day, that seems to me the magic number. So that's what I'm doing. Is I feel like at this point right now, I feel like if I'm about results, right? That's why I stopped taking the previous telomere support, because I wasn't getting results. And that's why I'm taking 3 now, because I believe that's going to give me the results that I want. And I believe that I would get more benefit from taking 3 a day for a month rather than 1 a day for 3 months, because I did that. And I can see that I'm getting a better benefit in the 6 weeks that I've been doing it. And so I believe that this is just the start. I believe that Touchstone is going to continue to create better formulas. What Bill Andrews says, he says that the formulators at Touchstone are at the same level as John Anderson. And that these are the first formulators that he's found in over a decade that are actually at the level that he wants to create the formulas that we need to actually get the results that we want. And that is makes me feel very hopeful. That is why I'm with Touchstone. That's why I'm making this video, because I believe this is just the start, and I think this is going to change a lot of lives. I think this is going to make people yeah, I think this is something like an answer to my prayers. And so I'm excited to see where this goes from here. Please reach out to the person that sent you this video. And if you want to get started, get back to the person that sent you here. And if you have any other questions, yeah. Anyways, thank you so much for being here. And thank you for making it to the end of this video.